Hello, and welcome to the weekly anime review show thingy, where I talk about 10 different anime that is currently airing in spring 2023. Yeah, I tried to do this last season and kind of fucked up, but I'm back again for 10 new anime. Well, technically 9 because Vinland Saga is like continuing from last season, but 10 different anime. But yeah, let me start off with Oshi no Ko, which I'll give like the preface that I read the manga, so I'm not going in like blind, and to be honest, I kind of had like low expectations for the anime, even though I love the manga. I always felt like if it wasn't gonna be animated well, I felt like maybe the story might be like too dark for people or something. It might be like how do I say, like people might be disgusted by some of the darker story elements, and it's for shock factor, because like the manga does like a really good job of delivering the stories, I feel, in like a way that feels grounded and doesn't try to like sensationalize or glorify some of the darker elements. And I'm glad in this anime it's so positively reviewed by other people, like the response, because I'm a fan of the manga, and like it really feels like this is like this is gonna be like the next big thing for a lot of fans, and because it feels like an anime that like a lot of casual anime fans can enjoy, even though it's even if they're not super into idol culture, which honestly, if you understand idol culture, I feel like this anime hits on a whole different level, because you'll be able to understand some of the references, the industry that like a lot of people don't talk about, because it gives like I don't want to say a different perspective, but like the perspective that the entertainment industry doesn't want to show people, but does it in a very entertaining way, which I love. And enough dilly-dallying with like that kind of stuff. I'll go into like the episode review, because the episode was an hour and a half long, which is absolutely insane, but with what they did, it was fucking amazing and perfect. So yeah, basically the episode starts with the main character being introduced. I actually don't remember his name, I just know he's a doctor. And he becomes a fan of idols because a patient he used to take care of was a big fan of idols, and she died when she was 12. And 4 years later, he's become a fan of the idol that the patient admired, and that idol ends up ends up coming to the hospital because she is pregnant. And he is feeling hesitant on like what to do as a doctor, like because he's a fan, and feels betrayed because it's like a 16-year-old girl is pregnant, so obviously has like an adult relationship, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. But after having like a little talk with her on the roof, resolves to take care of her and have a safe delivery of the baby. And months pass of her being in the hospital and whatnot. He dies before he can deliver the baby, and I think it's like right at the moment where like the baby should be coming, he gets like a phone call, but he's like I'm just glossing over how he died. A stalker found him, like a fan of and questions him, but then like gets scared and runs off, and he chases him into the woods, and then he gets pushed in like over a cliff, into a cliff, off a cliff. He gets pushed off a cliff and dies. But then he gets reborn as her son. I was about to say her baby. I mean, I guess both sentences work. But you know, she's also pregnant with twins, so she has a daughter as well. And that daughter turns out to be the patient that what do you call it? That died when she was 12 years old, that got him into idol culture. Which is already like, this is like maybe like the first 20 or 30 minutes. Very interesting story, honestly. And like I remember reading the manga and be like, oh, this is like, it feels weird and like, you know, I don't want to say off-putting, but like it has like this like jarriness, because it has like this super cutesy idol stuff, but then it has like these like darker undertones, and you're like, oh, I wonder where this is gonna lead. Yeah, like I haven't, even though I saw like it's the anime's been positively received by a bunch of people, I don't really know other people's opinions on like some of these story elements, or if like they really understand idol culture that well. So like I don't know if like I have like a different take on it, where I'm like, oh shit, this is a pretty cool anime about idols, you know. I love idols, but then a lot of idol anime, they tend to sort of glamorize the idol industry, you know, be like, oh, look how brightly these idols shine, and like they shine because the fans are there for them, and like, you know, that kind of you know, and how it's like being an idol is following your dreams and becoming something greater, blah blah blah. But yeah, but then as we learn, as like they become kids and are like growing with they get you get that direct perspective of the idol industry, the insider knowledge, I guess you would say, right? Because there's a lot of real talk about idols that, you know, it reveals that like, you know, a lot of, everyone kind of knows, right? Like the idol industry is like very saturated, right? A lot of idols fail, and there's a lot of lying and fakeness in like the whole industry, even like the entertainment industry as a whole. Like, you know, they had the scene in the studio where, yeah, like the directors, the cameramen, the producers, assistants, whatever, they were all like, oh, this group, oh, they're not bad, but they're not good, they're not, you know, but this is kind of just what sells in the market, you know, our job is just to like shoot it and make sure it can get produced efficiently, so, you know, we could sell it, whatever, right? And but then as soon as I start singing and stuff, they get captured by her charisma and stuff, and it's like, oh, look at that kind of stuff, like she's different, she's not like the other girls, you know, which I don't know if that like actually happens. I wonder if it does, but like I like the like back talking from the people like sound like it feels so real, right? Like, because everyone knows that the industry is fake as fuck, but they just keep it to themselves. They don't like go out openly talk about it. So it's really cool what they're doing in this anime. Even the manager's wife, who is like the kid's babysitter, like, you know, is like, oh yeah, like a lot of the failed idols like start getting other jobs where, like, you know, they have like the drink in the nightlife, kind of, you know, sussy kind of shit. And also, like, even though B Kamachi is one of the like slightly more successful groups, they're not incredibly profitable. So it's really cool that the series shows that, and it, you know, and it's getting positively received. Like, a lot of people know this, or at least I think a lot of people know this, but it doesn't get shown a lot. At least, and it's like, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool in my opinion. And then a little bit after that as well, you get them doing, they attend one of Ai's shows, and Ai is getting like what do you call it? What do you call, like, flamed? They're getting flamed online, or like negative comments online where she reads a comment where, oh, her smile feels so professional and fake. You know, it's not. It doesn't feel human. And then when the twins attend the show, they start doing the Watergate, Watergate, like the light stick dance, right, to like show the support. That shit was fire. But and then like she lets off a genuine smile, and then like after the show, like, you know, it's gone viral. The same commenter who left that negative comment on Twitter. It's hilarious that they're mentioning Twitter, by the way. Like, you know, turned around a bit and was like, wait, that right there, that's it. That's the genuine smile, human smile. It's really amazing. And it's like, yeah, it's cool looks, character building moments like that, which I fucking love. And after that as well, you get some of her acting parts where she's part of a TV drama, but because she's like so, I don't say attractive because that's not really what I'm trying to say. It's like she knows how to draw in eyes to her, right? And she was edited out a lot of scenes because the producers and whatever want the like main character to be the star of the show and be like the attractive one. So she's kind of being like shunned there, and it's like, it's cool to see like that kind of business politics as well, where it's like, you know, you're not supposed to be the star of the show, so you can't shine like you're the star of the show and like outperform who they want to perform. And like, you know how like that's all, I don't want to say like that's all shows, right? But like it's so interesting to see like that kind of business politics and then shown, and it's like it's done very concise and like, you know, precisely done. Like it is one little, it's not one little scene, but like maybe like 5-10 minutes is all they showed of that, and like that's all you really need to see. You don't need to see more. They're not making a fucking whole series about it. It's just like, and then I feel like that's great what they're doing, because as a story it feels more digestible, because like they're not dragging it on. And as like someone who's like a big fan of like entertainment industry and whatever, is like you can fill in all the gaps on your own, and like what they do show you just understand immediately. And it's because like, you know, you ever get that I don't know if anyone else does, but you know, you look up to a certain actor, voice actor, whatever, right, talent, and then when they get on something, you're like, oh, let's see what they do on it, and then they get like a small part and you're like, damn, they fucked them over. It feels bad, but it is what it is, right? It's like, it's business politics. And then that leads to Aqua getting a acting gigs, which then gives I more acting gigs because he made a deal with one of the directors, and he shows off some of his acting skills, which is pretty cool. But I mean, honestly, it's really cool. I actually love that segment as well, because the director did that because another child star was getting too much of an ego, right, where she thought she was the greatest actor, you know, everyone should be working for her, like, here, grab my bag, you're talentless, you know, you're acting like children, I am a, you know, great actor. But then when he did this, like, he did the acting scene amazingly, which, like, you know, he was just supposed to be really creepy, she felt so, how do you say, it's not insecure, right, she felt defeated, right? Because like she thought she was that guy. She's not that guy. And you know, had a, well, what do you call that? You don't call it a realization. What's the right terminology? she got ego checked. I don't know if that's right, if I'm saying it right, but like, you know, she pegged herself down a little bit. She like, yeah, I need to sort myself out, know who I am, kind of moment. And it humbled her. That's the word, right? She got humbled, and it was a goated scene. And then after that was honestly, I forgot how fucking good this moment was reading the manga, but it was the Ruby dance, like little story arc where Ruby refused to dance at the preschool because while she was hospitalized in her other life, you know, she was so weak and disabled that she couldn't dance, even though she watched I dance like hundreds and thousands of times and like memorized the movements and everything. Her body couldn't do it, and that carried over to her new body, which, you know, should be healthy and everything, but she still has like, you know, the trauma, the body reflex of tensing up before you fall down because, you know, you might hurt yourself. And it's like, oh, that's so, it's so cool. It's so cool to see that kind of stuff. I don't know, maybe cool isn't the right word either, because, you know, it sounds like I'm like, oh my god, you have trauma, that's so cool. But it's like, it's such an interesting storyline and like enjoyable to watch, because I then, like, you know, is there to like teach her and like, you know, have confidence in dancing and all that kind of stuff, and she finally is able to dance, and it's like, oh, you're like, oh, it's heartwarming. You're like, oh my god, she always wanted to dance, but she never could, but now she could in her new body. It's like, that shit's amazing. It made me cry in the manga and made me cry in the anime. Like, that's crazy. And then like at this point we're probably like an hour into the episode. So in this next part, Ai is getting like some flashbacks of before she was an idol, where the manager was scouting her and she was like saying how like she was reluctant to become an idol because she's an orphan and doesn't know love, doesn't know if she could show love to her fans or receive the love and whatever. But the manager's like, you can just lie about that, you could just fake the feeling, and that convinces her to be an idol. And but then like the complication is when she has children, that she does now, she has never said I love you to them, because she's afraid that what if she says it and then she's lying, like it's not genuine love for her children, and she's afraid of that. And then while that kind of story thing is going on, the stalker that killed the doctor in the past visits her and kills her, because he's so, you know, parasocial and delusional that like her having children, he feels betrayed and all that kind of stuff. And they even have the moment where it's like, oh, you know, you used to come to the handshake events and like I still have the sand that you gave me or whatever, and he feels conflicted because he's like, oh wait, she didn't betray me, blah blah blah, which is like, oh, it's an amazing story on its own. But it's, you know, it's sad that it led up to Ai dying, you know, tragic, I guess you would say. And when he leaves, Ai is holding Aqua in, you know, her dying body, blocks the door so Ruby can't get in, and then there, when she's dying, she says I love you to them, and she cries because she feels so happy and glad that it was her true feelings. She's not lying when she says it, and you're like, oh my god, that's like, if you're not crying at that moment, you're heartless. That was some good shit. And then, you know, amazingly animated as well. Like, it looks fucking amazing. But then if we're talking about amazingly animated, at the funeral, when Aqua has this fucking Death Note monologue and is like deducing how did that stalker find out where we lived? That was the same stalker that killed me in my past life when I was a doctor. He's just a student who like doesn't have that kind of detective skills. Someone must have tipped him off, and that person being his father, Eyes, who had children with Eye. And then like, you know, his villain arc begins, and it's like the way they did that was fucking amazing as well. I fucking love that shit. And the anime ends with Aqua and Ruby heading off to high school, and you're like, oh shit, where is this story going? It's so interesting, it's so fire, it's so flames. Even the Yoasobi opening that's named Idol. Sorry about that. The opening is so fire. I didn't really like look into the lyrics that much personally, but I had a friend message me and be like, oh dude, it's so crazy because it's about, you know, it's basically about what the story is about. How like, well, it's not what the story is about, but what, like, one of the topics about idols, but how like they're manipulating fans and how they feed them lies while feeding off them because that's how they make their money. And it's like, that's flames. It sounds amazing as well. I fucking love it. But you know, typical Yoasobi W's. Yeah, that was the first episode of Oshi no Ko. Absolutely amazing. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10, and I can't wait for episode 2 to come out next week. Next anime on the list is Hell's Paradise. I've heard this anime was like pretty hyped up by, like, you know, my friends, anime community, whatever. It's by Mappa, so you know I had high expectations going in, but I'll say it after I like talk about the episodes. So I'm doing the first 2 episodes here. First episode is Gabimaru, who's like the white-haired guy, edgy cunt, is imprisoned, and like, you know, he's being executed, but he doesn't care about dying because, you know, he's like, oh, you know, kill me, you know, I don't care about living, blah blah blah, you know, depressive, cringy. I say cringy, what do you call it? Edgy dude, right? And you know, they do a bunch of execution methods on him, like trying to cut his head off, burn him at the stake, fire. Oh, you call it at stake, right? Boil him in oil. Some other ones as well. Oh, like getting pulled by the balls, so his like legs split open. None of them work. So then you have Executioner Sagiri, who's been like questioning him the entire time. She makes an attempt on killing him, which he avoids because it is revealed that he doesn't want to die. He's been resisting the whole time, you know, and he's just lying about him accepting death because, you know, they mentioned a little bit before how he has a wife, and that wife is like, you know, the complete opposite of him. So in terms of like, he's like a cold-blooded killer, but she's very warm and kind. So he wanted to leave the village because he didn't want her like kindness to affect him. But the truth of the matter is he actually did like the wife, and you know, he wants to live so he can meet her again. He just doesn't fully accept it or internalize it. Yeah. But yeah, by the end of it, oh, maybe I should give the backstory that he's like an assassin for like some village chief or whatever, and like he does, you know, those kinds of jobs, whatever. Yeah, and that was episode 1. Oh, I forgot to mention. Right, I'm so stupid. I'm trying to like rush over. He gets, the executioner then says, yeah, if you finish this mission, by who is it? It's not the shogun, is it? Shogunate? Some authoritative person. He'll be pardoned for his crimes, and he can like live without, you know, being chased. But yeah, and then that was episode 1. And to be honest, I am, you might have guessed it already, I'm not completely sold onto the story. It's pretty, it feels so condensed and rushed that like I'm not, it's not enough for me to feel invested in Gabimaru, where I'm like, oh my god, I want him to escape this imprisonment so he could meet his wife again, and I'm not so like enamored by his like coolness, edginess, where I'm like, oh my god, I want to see him in action, like let me see him fight some people because he's so cool. Like, I'm not sold onto it yet. And I feel like I've noticed a lot more shonens doing this, where they're rushing these introductions so they could start the like story arcs that happen later on, because like, everyone knows the story arcs are the best parts of shonen, really, where they're able to, like, after they've set up all the characters and everything, the world building, then we start the story arcs where it's like these 5-10 episodes, 30 episode arcs where you're able to tell this like complete story, and or maybe not a complete story, but like a story arc. And I don't know, it feels so uninteresting to me, but because the show's been hyped so far, I'm giving it some leeway, so I'm gonna keep watching it. Episode 2, honestly, it was like the same for me, because it's Sagiri's development instead, the executioner, and it's like she admires her father's way of executing. Was it her father or grandfather? I think it was her father. I'm not really paying much attention, am I? But yeah, like her father's execution was like so beautiful or something like that she just admires it and wants to be like that. But then currently her executioning is like full of hesitation and like isn't as beautiful and whatever. And she was also bullied as a kid because she was part of the executing death business and whatever. And like I don't know, I feel like out of everything, I feel like that was like the most forced part of the story, because I was like, I feel like they're trying really hard to make this strong female character archetype that went through some shit, and then it's like overcoming that. It sounds like I'm downplaying that archetype. I actually love that archetype. I just feel like here it's like, they tried to fit it in half an episode, so it didn't feel as interesting as like, I feel like I wanted it to be. That's just me. And then second half of the episode is all the gathered criminals, including Gabimaru, are gonna be sent to an island where every time a party is sent to the island, they return in a boat full of flowers, where like the flowers are growing from them, and they're like dead and like decrepit and not human and whatever, right? And they're going to be sent to the island to find the elixir of life, which is like the immortality potion or whatever, or grants immortality supposedly. And yeah, it's like the bunch of criminals there then start a battle royale so they can thin their numbers to just 10 criminals. Gabimaru has like a scene where he kills a bunch, some of the other criminals kill a bunch. Again, personally, if I was uninterested because there weren't any characters here that I was invested in, where I'm like, oh my god, I want to see this guy fight. And there weren't, like, honestly, like, even though it was well animated, it did very much feel like it was bloody and gory for the like shock factor, rather than it being like cool, which is what I want. Like, maybe it's like, shonen nowadays is just different from me, right? Or it's not made for me anymore, because back then, like, I feel like back in the days, I say back in the days, like maybe like 5, 10, 15 years ago, shonen anime, whenever they did like fight scenes and whatever, it felt like they were trying to like make it cool. Like, how could they make this as cool as possible? Nowadays, I feel like they're just like, blood and gore is really cool. Let's animate this. And I don't know, like I'm not too into that kind of stuff. Like, I'm fine with blood and gore, but like, you know, cool factor is like number one for me. So if it's not cool, then I don't really care. Like, Maru did like some sort of cool stuff, but at the same time, the last episode he was like, you know, talking about how he wanted to be more kind for his wife, but then here he's like a bloodthirsty killer to all these criminals, even though he starts off with I don't want to kill people, and then like maybe it's because they're criminals and like he's forced to kill them, but he's not really forced to kill them. I don't know, it feels hypocritical. Maybe that's what they're going for, like he's a how do you say, he's not a man with like morals or whatever, like he just does what he wants to do. But like, you know, I don't know, I like it when like a character has a moral compass and like, you know, you can see where the morals lie. But here it really feels like, you know, it would be really cool if this guy just kills a bunch of them, so let's just show it. That's how it felt like for me. I don't know, maybe I'm just dissing this anime and I'm a hater, but I even though I'm giving all these complaints, it's still well animated. Like, I love the opening. You know, it's Mappa, so it looks good. I'm not complaining about that kind of stuff. And maybe I am nitpicking on like some details, and it's gonna get better from now on. Like, I'm gonna let it cook because it's one of the more hyped up anime that have been coming out. But in these first 2 episodes, I am gonna give it a 7 out of 10, which I'm gonna say right now is the lowest out of these 10 anime, which is crazy. But who knows? Maybe it becomes better later on. Okay, next anime is Vinland Saga Season 2. I think like technically the core 2, or like the spring part of the season, started from episode 13. So I'm talking about episode 13 and 14, because episode 12 kind of was like the ending of like Thorfinn's arc, and now here we're on like the second part of the series, because like there was a time skip as well. Actually, I forget, the time skip happened on episode 13. Basically 3 years passed, and I think that happened on episode 13. So, you know, it all makes sense. It all comes together. Yeah, episode 13 contains the old man who's like Kettle's dad, is getting old and is found collapsed on the farm and is now bedridden because he's old. And Arnheid, the girl. Oh god, why am I burping so much? I'm just drinking water. Arnheid becomes his caretaker. And then while that's happening, there's a slave that escapes from some other farm, neighboring farm, I think, and kills some people. And as he's evading capture, he stumbles. Do you say stumbles? Makes his way basically to where Arnheid, Thorfinn, and Einar are, and it's revealed that he is Einhard's husband, and wants to take Arnheid with him. And then that's kind of like the end of episode 13. It's like the big reveal that Arnheid has a husband, and then he's a slave that wants to free her, right? And then episode 14 starts, and you have Einar like ready to like fight Snake and like the other farm bodyguards. You call them bodyguards? The guardsmen people, because, you know, he wants what's best for Einhard, and like, you know, Arnheid dude, I'm struggling with this name. But anyways, because her life on this farm is basically like it's filled in, right? It's solid. Like, she's gonna be Kettle's slave for the rest of her life, and is never gonna leave the farm because Kettle likes her, and yeah, that's it. She's never gonna be free. And Aina is already like one job away from becoming free, him and Thorfinn, and feels bad that Einhard won't get that same opportunity. And then that's when when this husband arrives and is able to free Einhard, he's ready to take that opportunity, but Thorfinn convinces him otherwise because there's people that he has to fight and kill, and is he prepared or like able to do that? And then with that happening, Snake knocks out the husband and captures him. And then we have Einhard, back. It's the same day. That night, that night when they're like having dinner or whatever, she reveals her backstory, which is at her village that's in Sweden. I think, it was at Sweden. When they were married, they had a son, but apparently like there was this like other village that is becoming more powerful and has like a huge resources of iron and whatever, and the men in the village gathered up because they're like, oh, if we attack now, we could take the spoils of all this iron and also protect our families, because this village that could like attack us won't be strong enough to attack us. And she's like, why are you risking your life for this kind of stuff? We have plenty of iron already. You have a son, and like, what if you die out there and whatever. He feels the need to do it because he's like, this is ensuring the safety of my family and the village. But as he goes off on to do that on a ship, they get attacked. The village get attacked while there's no men there to protect them, and that's where she becomes a slave and loses her son. And it's like, it's actually a pretty like crazy story. Like, another forewarning, I've read this manga as well already, Vinland Saga, and I love the farming arc, but this part of the farming arc I always felt was the weakest part. Like, it, because maybe because Thorfinn has so little to do with it, but I was never like invested in Arnheim maybe, but like the way the anime did it, I'm like, wait, this is actually like a pretty fucking sad story. And like I'm just imagining how Arnheim would have felt losing her son like that, in that way. It's crazy. It's like, damn, like and the conflicting emotions of, your husband is here, but he's crazy right now. He's a murderer. He's killing people. Is it the same? But then by the end of the episode, she comes with the plan to do something, because she leaves in the middle of the night, even though it's revealed that she's pregnant with Kettle's child. And it keeps talking about how she's just gonna live her life on this farm, raising this child and waiting for the storm to pass, as she says. But then as she leaves, the old man makes a comment. It's like, yo, I'm not as crazy as you think, but I can relate with what you're saying, because he regrets something that he did in the past, where Kettle was in love with this girl, but the girl is this neighboring farm who's like way more powerful than whatever, wants to get the girl. So he could risk his entire operation trying to like get the girl that his son wants, or he could just like let her go, right? And he let her go because he didn't want to risk anything. But they ended up getting attacked anyways. And the woman died, and I guess like the whole thing is that he regrets not acting with his heart, his emotions, like his desire. Like the happy end would have been the woman and Kettle would have been together, but you know that didn't happen. And even worse, tragedy struck the woman afterwards. And then the whole situation with Einhard is that like, yo, you could like just forget about your husband, but what if you're able to escape with your husband and escape this farm, be free? You know, what if? Well, you know, well, what about that kind of life? It's cool to see those kinds of parallels. It's why I love Vinland Saga, right? But yeah, like really cool 2 episodes. If I'm being honest, not as good as like the first half of the season so far, mainly because Thorfinn, because he's the GOAT. But you know, still, like the way they're animating this as well, it's like it's fucking amazing. I love it. I love Vinland Saga. So giving this shit like maybe like an 8 out of 10. Like not like 10 out of 10 Oshi no Ko level, but still very, very great anime. And it's crazy that Mappa's doing this at the same time as what do you call it, Hell's Paradise. Well, maybe like they've already finished Vinland Saga, but I'm assuming they're like working on both at the same time. Alright, next anime. Dude, it's crazy how fast this feels. Maybe compared to Oshi no Ko. I mean, it was like an hour and a half, but like when you have to like talk about like less stuff, it's crazy. 4th anime is Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury, also known as G-Witch. So yeah, this is continuing from, wait, is this technically season 2 or is it like part 2? Oh yeah, this is technically season 2. And if you don't know, season 1 is my favorite anime of 2022. So I'm extremely hyped for this season. And yeah, I love this is my favorite Gundam so far as well, and I'm like so hyped for this season. It's crazy. Okay, so sorry, you know, breath right there. Anyways, the season starts off pretty much right after how season 1 ended. Well, not right after, because he had like that crazy fucking moment at the end, right? It was fucking crazy. But yeah, you have Soleta doing serial battles, which is like battles one after another, because while Ariel was being repaired or remade, whatever it was, her fights kept stacking up with one another, like they were getting delayed. So now she has to do all of them at the same time, and she wins all of them overwhelmingly, and it's absolutely flames. You know, like how sick the animation is currently. Like it's always been amazing, but like, you know, mech fights, it's so fun to see modern mech fights, how fast paced they are compared to fucking how they were beforehand. And I say beforehand, yeah, like I don't know, mech fights used to be, I say used to be, oh, what am I saying right now? It feels very modern mech fights are really cool. Yes, anyways, Soleta is doing these serial battles, which is like battles one after another, because while Ariel was being repaired, her like the fights that, you know, she was being challenged kept stacking up, so now she has to do all of them at the same time, and she wins all of them overwhelmingly, and like, you know, animation wise, absolutely amazing. I love it. And then afterwards, Miorine isn't there she's missing from the, not missing, but like she's not with the gang because she's with her father, and obviously has some conflict with Soleta after what happened in season 1. There's also Jeturk industry family being under suspicion for being involved with the attack on the president. Is he a president? Miorine's dad, right? Because the mobile suits that were used in the attack were Jeturk branded, right? And yeah, so like they're all like under suspicion, like, oh, are you guys involved? Even though it's Shadik. Other guys is like the person being involved. And also Guel is fucking missing as well. He wasn't shown at all this episode. Soleta is still being gaslit by her mum, where like the mum, they had a phone call because Soleta's taking care of Miorine's farm greenhouse, and like she's like, oh man, do you think she hates me or whatever? And the mom's like, no, you did what you had to do, you know, she'll understand, blah 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 blah, you know, you didn't, you know, if you run away, that's one step, well, but then if you like move forward, that's two, or something like that. I already forgot the quote, and they say it like every episode. It's crazy, but yeah, like being gaslit, and it's absolutely fire. And then while Soleta is talking to Nika, I actually forgot what they were talking about, and I didn't write it down. But anyways, while they were talking, 2 transfer students show up, and they are the terrorists that attacked the I should have wrote down what they attacked as well. Was it some sort of satellite place? They attacked the president, right? And it's actually crazy how fast this is happening as well, because like they were just introduced and they're already like here at the school in the first episode of the 2nd season. Like there is no breaks in this fucking series. Like it's full acceleration. It's absolutely crazy. And so yeah, with the 2 Terrace students showing up, they're like having fun because there's an open day right now for the school. Like they're like accepting, like, what's the word? Like possible students? No, that's not the right word. Prospective? Prospective? Blah, blah. Words. But yeah, and then you learn as well that on the last day of the this open day kind of event, there's gonna be a battle royale that Soleta has to attend, and you know, they're like then non-stop with like what's happening in these episodes. It's actually crazy. No wonder why this is written by the same person that made Code Geass. Like I could spend here like for an hour breaking down this episode with like everything that happened, but you know, I'm trying to like keep it short because I have like so many more anime to talk about, right? So then yeah, and we also have Nika the rat being confronted by the guy that saw her in the thing, because last season she like did like a Morse code thing to like stop being attacked, or them being attacked in the ship. And you know, a friend saw that and was like, yo, what do you, how'd you do that? How'd you message them? And yeah, she's a rat. The suspicion. And it's actually like really cool that they made that guy, I don't remember his name, whatever, but he's like the he's not a very confrontational person. Like he's really like, I don't even want to say submissive, reserved. He's a reserved person, and like he wants to like be a good person and whatever. So he's like, he's giving Nika the benefit of the doubt. Like, yo, like I want to like make sure that we're okay as well, like, and whatever. And Nika's like, I'm a fucking rat. I feel fucked for calling her a rat, but like that's what she is. But like, our like her character arc is so fucking cool. Even though I'm calling her a rat, right? Because it's like she wants to do good. She wants to be the bridge between humans and Spatians, right? Like that's why she's the middleman. Like she hopes that by doing this, she'll be able to like finally have peace between the two people, right? But really what she's doing is fueling more fucking animosity between them without her knowing, right? Like, but it's also like, damn, how do I say this? Like, she can't even like be in the power position because she's being used, and you know, by Shattuck and like all the other people. Like, she's the middleman, but she has no leverage. She has no say in the matter. She only just does what people tell her, and if she refuses, who knows what could happen? She could be imprisoned, killed. Like, things might turn even worse if she's not there. So it's like, oh my god, it's so interesting. It's absolutely fire. And then when she tries to stand up, actually, which is actually really cool for her character as well, against the two transfer students, she's being bullied by them and almost gets killed until Soletta comes and then challenges her to a duel, or them to a duel. And then I love Soletta as well, because she's so stupid, and like this should not have worked, because she's like, well, because you're at this school, you have to follow the rules of the school, and that means when I challenge you to a duel, you have to accept. It's like, it's absolutely ridiculous, because they were so ready to kill Nika. But yeah, I guess that's what's gonna happen, and it somehow convinced them. I guess it's because the other girl like tried to convince her, but you know, anime logic really. And then after credits, you have Soletta's mom talks to Miorine and then reveals a project that she's been working on. I don't know if she's been working on it, but she knows that her dad's been working on it and wants to like get control of it. And it's called Quiet Zero, that will, if I remember right, it's like gonna eliminate war or something. And who knows what that's gonna be? Is it gonna be like some sort of brainwashing kind of project, or is it like this super weapon that like will defeat everyone? I don't know, and I'm interested. 10 out of 10 episode, fucking amazing. I love Gundam Witch, it's so good. No Yoasobi opening though, which is kind of sad, because the first opening was fire. I like the second opening, but like the first opening was way better. That's just me though. Like maybe it'll grow on me. Next anime is Heavenly Delusion, which had 2 episodes, so I watched the 2. Yeah, and I guess like a preface is it's kind of funny with the title like Heavenly Delusion. I thought this was gonna be a rom-com. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh, it's like, maybe it's because like I didn't watch the anime, but I think last season there was like something called like Angel something, and I thought like, oh, is this like similar to that? No, it's very not. And I'll just get into the episode, right? So episode 1 started off with like, you're in this like sort of school-like place with like a bunch of kids, and they're like doing school things. Like someone gave a tomato to someone hospitalized, someone's drawing, people are having tests, and you know, and it seems like they all have like some sort of like supernatural ability or powers or whatever as well. So you have this like mystery element, but they also don't know what's outside. So it has like this like what's that one anime called? Something in Wonderland? Promised Neverland. Yeah. It has like that kind of vibe as well. But I think what's really cool is that like even though they have that, they go to like the main characters, which is Kiriko and Ma. I'll just fucking look it up. I don't want to make a mistake. That'll be embarrassing, right? Kiriko and Maru, which are the 2 main characters, and they're like exploring this like exploring, I say. I mean, they are exploring. They're exploring this like sort of Last of Us apocalyptic world of Japan, and it's so cool. Like, I fucking love this. Like, just the atmosphere of the show from like the first like 10 minutes. I'm in. Like, I'm captured. It like from the music, like the ambient music that's playing, to the art style, to like the backgrounds, how like this apocalyptic world, like all the fucking buildings and stuff look worn out. Like, it's so amazing. And I am watching it in English dub, and I'll say the voices for Kiriko and Maru are fucking spot on as well. Like, they sound so natural in their delivery. It's like, it's amazing. I looked up their voice actors: Anjali Kunapaneni. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. And Jonathan Leon. Like, goddamn, they're like new voice actors as well. Like, I've heard of Anjali before because she's doing Shinigami in Raincode, which is the new game coming out by the Danganronpa creator. And I'm like, I remember looking her up and being like, oh, wow, they're giving like a newer voice actor like the main role. That's crazy. I say it's crazy. Like, she's not that new. She was in Genshin Impact and a bunch of other stuff, but you know, I've never heard her yet, which honestly to me I say is like, not as a like a diss, but as a like, oh, she's not a you know, a seasoned voice actor that's been doing this for like 2 decades. To me, that's like, you know, when you're like, oh yeah, they're well known, highly acclaimed and whatever, like achieved a bunch of stuff. So even though she, you know, I think she's been doing this for like years already, right? Like, but this is my, like, I think my personal like introduction to her, and she's fucking killing it as Kiriko. And then Jonathan sounds amazing doing what do you call it, Maru as well. Hold on, let me check something real quick. I thought so, honestly. I should have checked beforehand. Their pronouns are they, them for Anjali. I probably should have checked that, but yeah. Anjali is amazing, and I'm looking forward to Raincode a lot more now because you know, she's fucking killing it. But yeah, with Kiriko and Maru exploring the like the apocalyptic world, you know, they're like going into buildings and stuff, trying to search for supplies. They meet bandits, and they're like what do you call it, what am I saying? They meet the bandits and whatever, and like fights them, and then you find out Kiriko has like railgun kind of thing that shoots laser beams or some shit. It's crazy. So they have like this kind of sci-fi-ness as well in the world. And but yeah, so they finesse the bandits to like charge the, like, they're calling it the Kiru gun or Kiru beam, Kiru something. I think they call it Kiru beam, Kiru gun, because the beam Kiru. Fuck, I feel bad for like not remembering because like I just watched it like yesterday. But yeah, after finessing the bandits and whatever they were, they end up like crossing these like, oh no, they go to that's the next episode. I'm getting my thing mixed up. They stay at an inn which an old lady is running, and they even what do you call it, this is like hilarious scene where Kiriko is like in the bathroom, and like, you know, like the fucking mirror is broken, and then like she's staring at the mirror, and then like goes on to like kiss the mirror. Hilarious, because then like the innkeeper shows up, That's some good shit. That's some good shit. And you honestly, you would think like these kinds of like fan service scenes would be like sexualizing the character, but anything, it just makes it like they're tying in this like, oh, Kiriko is like, I don't want to say going through puberty, but like is a fucking cringy child still. Does that make sense? I don't know. But you know, I feel like it was showing more of that, like being young and like curious, blah 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 blah, rather than it being like sexualizing someone. Yeah, I don't. I like that scene out of everything kind of struck out to me with how they did it. It's kind of fire. And then like later in the episode, the innkeeper like accused them of like committing incest. I was like, you know, that's really fucked up. You shouldn't do that kind of stuff. But you know, it's revealed that Kiriko is just Maru's bodyguard, because he is like being sent to like do something, find heaven, and yeah, and she's being hired to make sure he gets to where he wants to safely. And they kind of mentioned that beforehand, but like the reason like why the innkeeper was confused is because he keeps calling her see, big sister, something like that. Dude, why is my brain so fried right now? I don't know why, but yeah. And then episode 1 ends with this giant fucking headless bird creature showing up in front of the innkeeper at night while she's like cocking a gun. Does the opening show it in episode 1? I want to say like the opening is absolutely fire as well, and in general this anime gives a lot of Girls Last Tour vibes, at least for me, where I'm like, wow, this world is so mysterious and interesting. I'll like, and the way they're like world building with like atmosphere and everything, it's just like, it's so cool, it's so amazing. But it seems a lot less slice of lifey and comedy than Girls Last Tour was, and it seems like it's gonna have like some heavier topics as well, because I'll just start talking about episode 2, where you have Kiriko wakes up because she finds out, or at least she figures out that they've been drugged to go to sleep, and is you know, they're, because she mentioned that she could hunt these creatures, so she like gives that opportunity to the innkeeper. The innkeeper like tries to brush it off, right? And then once meeting and then like having a little scuffle with this man-eater creature. Absolutely amazing how they animated that as well, because like they switched it to like a cinematic aspect ratio with like the top and bottom black bars. It's like, oh my god, it's so cool what they're doing with this anime, and it's only episode 2. Like I'm so invested and like interested. It's crazy, right? And and then what happens is, when they're about to kill, or at least shoot the bird creature, innkeeper prevents them and it's like, no, it's actually my son was absorbed by him, and like he takes care of me and whatever, blah blah blah, right? Like sad story. And then Kiriko is like, oh okay, if there's no harm, then I won't attack. And then in that moment you could sense it coming a mile away, but the creature kills the innkeeper and then absorbs her. And like, oh, it's so crazy how like they're doing this in a short moment as well, but it's so impactful, where Kiriko's like, all right, it looks like at this moment there's an opening when they use their whip attack or whatever, right? And then Mario's like, yo, how could you say that? Like, you don't feel anything for her, like someone just died. And then you see like one eye is like tears dropping down, and she's like, oh, because if I don't, then we're gonna die as well. And like, oh, dude, that shit's that's just so cool to me. Like, I don't know, I'm already in love. I love Kiriko. I love Maru as well. So, like, that's how you make a like short introduction but immediately invest you into the characters. Like, that's what I love, right? It's so good. And then Maru does like some fucking thing that's able to like, I guess, like attack the cells of the creature and then kill it. Not really sure how that works, but maybe we'll find out later. And then that's like the first half of the episode, and then the second half, they're doing more exploring, trying to find this heaven place, and it leads them to a tomato farm where we get like I like a lot of this like world building and storytelling. This part felt like the most forced and contrived, where this dude is just like, oh, Kiriko, I recognize your face anywhere. You know, you used to be like really famous. I was a big fan, you know, but then a lot of people like started wondering what happened to you after your brother got in an accident 5 years ago when blah blah blah. Like, it's crazy how he just gave this entire fucking like backstory, is that what you call it? But like, there's like, yeah, like basically I'm guessing it's Kiriko's backstory in such a fucking stupid way. It felt forced. It like, out of like all this anime has done so far, that felt like pretty off-putting. I kind of understand why they did it, because maybe like they had this written for Kiriko, like the backstory, but didn't know how to fit it in. But you know, put it in this like weird spot right here where some guy just mentions it because he was a fan. I don't know, it didn't feel right. But luckily it was probably only like 30 seconds or 1 minute, and then like, you know, they went straight into like some like mystery thing where they find boxes that have the same symbol as the gun that Kiriko uses, and that gun given by some woman that they used to be I guess in a party together with, what do you call it, a group together with, and you know, she died passing off the gun to her, and then her last words were like, get Maru to heaven or whatever, go to heaven. I don't know, it feels very mysterious. If there's not a good payoff for this anime, like, I feel like I'll start nitpicking on like some of those smaller tidbits like that, where it's like, I don't know, that felt like a little weird. But I'm here assuming that like the anime is gonna be amazing, because what they've shown so far is like amazing world building, amazing characters, you know, creative animations, animating the show creatively. So I'm a fan. I'm a big fan. And also on season 2, episode 2, like, well, so far, right, they have like this like post-apocalyptic world storyline, but then they also have the school storyline, right? And with the school storyline, you have a guy wondering what like is outside the walls, right? And he gets the truth from the director of the place, and it's like, on the outside is hell because they're all monsters out there and shit. So this is like the heaven, safe haven, where even though you're trapped here, but at least you're not facing the fucking post-apocalyptic world that's out there. And they keep mentioning something that happened 15 years ago as well, where like something happened which fucked up the world. And you know, we don't know what that is yet, but like I'm intrigued. Like it's interesting, at least what they're doing. And also there seems to be a lot of like relationship things happening as well at the school, where you know, when there's two girls kissing each other, we see the main boy seeming to have like this kind of maybe possibly like a little crush on like the artist guy. I don't know, maybe possibly. We have one of the girls sending nudes to another guy, I don't know if like it's actually her doing it, but then like, you know, at times, because it seems like he's like going through puberty as well, where he's like, oh my god, naked girl, oh my god, she's hugging me, nosebleed, kind of thing going on. So it's like, we have all that thing going on, and then the end of episode 2 reveal is Kiriko, well, Maru confesses to Kiriko, and it's like really cute how it's done, because like he actually like tries to force himself on her, which shouldn't be funny, but like the way they did it was like lighthearted. It wasn't like, you know, he's a fucking weak simp cunt, so he's gonna back down. And then after that, she reveals that even though she has the body of a woman, in her head she views herself as a man. And that now creates the conflict with me, where I keep referring to her as she, because the anime keeps referring her to she, as a she. So by episode 3, if Maru like if the subtitles be like, you know, him, his, whatever, right, to Kiriko, I'll switch over. But so far, I'm used to calling her she, and it's kind of fucked up. How dare they do that to me? But I'll say, like, the cool what do you say, foreshadowing was when they were fighting the bandits in the first episode. You know, they thought like they were both girls, right? And it was like, oh, look at that, there's some cute girls right here, I'll take you to heaven. And then Maru's like, but I'm a dude. And they're like, damn, the blonde one's a dude, fuck. And then Kiriko's also like, yeah, I'm also a dude. And they like dismiss it as well. They're like, no, you're definitely a girl, whatever, right? So it's actually like, I love that when they turn like a jokey situation bit thing into like, no, it's a plot point. Like she's trans, she views herself as a dude. And they kind of teased it as well in episode 2. You could say, sort of, kind of, with the two girls kissing, and also the dude sort of being interested in another dude. I don't know for sure, like the kids, maybe it's just like him having admiration, but it seemed deeper than that, because he like got jealous that he gave away an artwork to someone else. So, and like also pushed off a girl from a seat, and like it's actually like very childlike, which I think they were going for. Like, it's very immature how he's acting, because he doesn't know his own feelings, right? Like that he's acting out in jealousy and whatever. If he does have a crush, I don't know for sure yet. Maybe they will reveal it. That's what I'm assuming so far. So then you have like, you know, two gay girls, and then presumably one gay guy. So like they're already building like those LGBT themes, and then so like leads into this. It's like everything makes sense. It didn't feel like it was like a shocking revelation or anything like that. Well, it was shocking, but it wasn't a what do you say, like it didn't feel like it's taking the story in a different turn, right? Because like it's always been there. Like you saw like the undertones everywhere. Like that's why I'm very interested to see where this anime heads. And you know, I'm giving these 2 episodes a 10 out of 10 because that shit was amazing. Also the best opening so far this season. Fucking amazing. I love this anime. Heavenly Delusion. Some good shit. I'm delusional. Am I? Anyways, next anime, Konosuba. And this is... So I just finished watching the Konosuba movie, because I didn't watch that for like forever. And I forgot how good Konosuba is, right? I was like, damn. Like, for an hour and a half that the movie was, I was like, shit, this is some good fucking comedy. I haven't had this in a while. And so I'm like, I have kind of high expectations for this. I only watched the first episode, by the way, even though there's 2 episodes out. But the first episode, if I'm being honest, not as great as the movie. But then again, I think I heard like everyone say like the movie was fucking amazing. So who knows? Who knows where this leads us? Anyways, I should like continue, like get on to talking about the episode before I ramble on for too much. The episode starts off with Megumin meeting the woman who she admires and why she loves explosion magic, even though it's considered a joke spell in the world of Konosuba, right? And they even have like a hilarious back and forth on like, oh, I can do anything. You saved me, little girl. What would you wish for? I'll do anything. And she's like, world domination. It's like, oh, I can't really do that. Give me big titties. It's like, oh, I'm not sure I can do that either. It's like, oh man, you can't do shit. Okay, how about you solve my puzzle for me that I have right here. It's like, oh, you can wish for a little bit more than that, And she's like, all right then, teach me explosion magic. And yeah, and there you go. That's where it starts. That's where it started. Started off young. That's when like Megumin's like, it looks like she's like only like 6 years old or something like that, right? And then time skip to a little bit in the future where Megumin is about to start attending school, and her family is like poor, which they showed in the movie, right? But they were able to make a sale because that same woman that taught Konosuba, that taught Megumin, bought something from their store, and hints a little bit that she's looking for Megumin again. I don't know if like, or she said like she's looking for someone. I'm assuming it's Megumin. So maybe like, I hope. I hope. I feel like it's too predictable for it to be like, oh, it's the final arc of this season is they meet together and then she has like some sort of thing, and then that's what sets Megumin off on her journey. Because this whole season, as far as I know, is a side story that is Megumin before she joins the main party in Konosuba, and like what led to her going there, because Megumin's a fucking beast, a incredibly star popular character in the Konosuba world, right? So obviously she gets her own anime spin-off. But yeah, the family gives Megumin a new uniform for the school that she's about to attend, and then we have some school scenes where all the Crimson Wizards are toonies. So like they all do like the fucking anime poses and give like cringe speeches and whatever. And Yun is like the only one that is like embarrassed about shit. But then Yun declares to Megumin that she wants to be rivals. And by the end of the episode, it seems like Megumin kind of accepts her a little bit, even though like, because like Yun is like the joked on character that gets shit on by everyone else. It seems like by the end of it, Megumin kind of grows on her. She grows on her. Am I saying this right? I don't know. They get some attachment and they become rivals or friends or whatever you want to call it, right? But yeah, I'm gonna be honest, kind of a very chill anime. I didn't laugh all too hard, but Megumin is the GOAT, so I gotta like the anime just for that. And like it's only episode 1. I'll see where this heads. I would give this like maybe a 7.5 or 8 out of 10. Not much to talk about. I could like go in on like the jokes and tidbits and bits and whatever, but like I feel like that ruins the point unless it's like a really funny joke. That's what I did with like the back and forth with Megumin and the wizard lady at the start. That shit was actually hilarious. But the rest, I don't know, it felt like hit or miss, which is what Konosuba always has been. But yeah, I still enjoy it. We'll see where this heads. Next anime, Ancient Magus Bride Season 2. See, I'm in a predicament. I watched Season 1 like, like 6 years ago, 5 years ago, however long ago. And I didn't watch any of these like OVAs that came out. I don't know if you're supposed to, but I didn't. I kind of remember this happening at the end of season 1 where like she's like recommended to start going to school, but I also don't remember. I kind of wish there was like they kind of did like a sort of recap, but I don't know. I'm just giving like the warning. I feel like I've forgotten a lot about Ancient Magus Bride, so I apologize. But I did love season 1. Season 1 was just fucking amazing to me. I love Chisei, I love Elias and their dynamic, because it's like Chisei doesn't have a lot of agency, you know, like she doesn't make choices for herself very often. She just like, people tell her what to do and then she just does it. You know, she doesn't have like, I don't want to say energy, like she doesn't have agency. I think that's all I can say, like control over her own life, where she's able to make decisions for herself, which throughout season 1 she slowly starts to do, which is like really cool, because you know, and then you know she also has like all this like baggage with her, like she's a slay beggy, so she has like all this magical power and shit, and she's like cursed and like dealt with a fucking immortal psychopath and whatever. It was some crazy shit in season 1. But yeah, season 2 starts off with like her being introduced to the school, and it's really cool because it feels like they're addressing a lot of the things I remember in season 1. So it's like, it feels like the same kind of anime. It's almost like it is the same anime, right? Crazy. But yeah, because like you have like Elias, who's usually very possessive of Chisei because she bought Chisei as a slave, and like, you know, well, it was part of like the problem where like, you know, Chisei not having control of her life, Elias wasn't helping that because he's very not manipulative, but you know, controlling. I guess you would say that's manipulative, right? Well, like he's not doing it connivingly, he's just like, no, you do this because I say so. And then yeah, but then in this situation Elias asks for Chisei's opinion, where he's like, oh, what do you think about school? Would you want to start doing it and whatever? And yeah, so this episode 1, she goes to school and we start learning about the school and stuff, like the different floors in the tower and shit, and the cats and how they're like different houses, because like, you know, there's like, this house is for the future, this house is for the past, this house is for freedom, whatever. And then Chisei chooses Rosalind, which is, I don't know cat breeds, I don't know what kind of cat it is, but yeah, that she chooses a cat out of the 4 cats. It's pretty cool. I'm guessing it. Oh, did Harry Potter popularize that? Because I'm sure. I mean, I think houses existed in schools for like forever, you know. But the way that Harry Potter did it was really cool. So maybe that's what, like, they're taking inspiration from here, because like, you know, magic school, whatever. Or maybe I'm way off and like, you know, it's just a generic school thing. Where am I leading this? Anyways, Chisei is getting checked by the like nurse, doctor, physician, slime girl, snail, caterpillar girl. I don't know what the hell she is, but outsmash. And what do you call it? They kick Elias and the white-haired scientist guy. I think he's a scientist guy, professor, whatever. If you haven't noticed by now, I've forgotten the characters as well. But yeah, so they go off to explore the school while Chisei opens up about her experiences so far, like how she almost died making medicine, she almost died by getting a dragon's curse, she almost died because she got stabbed, she almost died because she swapped eyeballs with a immortal person and is now immortal herself. I actually appreciate that scene a lot because it fucking recapped basically all of season 1. Good shit. And then you also notice that she gives like what do you say? she says like, oh, I've been seeing visions as well, where I'm like, oh, I can see a life that isn't mine. And then she reveals that like it feels like 1,000 years worth of memories. And it's like, oh shit, that's crazy. Imagine that. That's crazy. Bro, I feel so fried right now. I'm not focused when giving these anime reviews. It's kind of fucked. I promise I'll do better next week. I promise. Anyways, Lucy, her roommate, black hair, is really cute. I think I'm in love. And also, after that, she's commanded to like go somewhere else, and then she finds a white hair girl about to collapse, and then she prevents her from falling, and the episode ends there. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how to feel too much about this. Like it's one of those things where like, you know, I love Chisei already. I sort of kind of like Elias, and school arc sounds very interesting. So, you know, I want to like give hype to this episode, but it's not done by Wit anymore, and I feel like I'm like noticing that. But at the same time, it feels like the base of Magus Bride is still there, where like everything feels magical, you know, because that's what I loved about Ancient Magus Bride, where it's like it has this modern-ish world, but then it's has all these like magical elements. What do you say? Like magical world building, you would say, right? Because I remember like the fairy arc and like a bunch of, you know, stuff like that in season 1. But it's like the world building is fucking amazing, and this is just another part of it. Like even like, you know, just like the cats being like the head of the houses, or like the house mums or something like that. You know, it just feels like another world. It feels magical. I love it. And like I feel like Chisei's character arc isn't finished yet, but it's nearing. I don't want to say it's nearing its end, but it's like where fuck, I don't even know what to say. I feel like maybe it's because like I know Chisei already. I wonder how she's gonna develop now. It's like that, right? And it's I feel like that's harder to do compared to developing a character, because it's like, what's the future rather than what's the past, because we already know Chisei's past. Crazy. I'll still give this episode 9 out of 10 though. I loved it. I love Ancient Magus Bride. Doing a terrible job with reviewing anime. I fucking lost my touch. It's doomed. Next anime, Cafe Terrace. That's not the full name. That's just what I wrote down. Megami no Cafe Terrace. You know, Cafe Terrace and its goddesses. So yeah. This anime is fucking goated. I'm saying that with a straight face. I am not kidding. The first 2 minutes, I saw like 5 anime girls with big ass titties. She was amazing. You know, it gives that like old school harem ecchi vibes. It's like perfectly done. I love it. It's amazing. But yeah, anime starts off with a guy entering his old house because his grandma died, and then finds or peeps on 5 girls who are in the middle of changing, or are just like sleeping half naked. And then obviously, you know, he fights back and he's like, bro, this is my house, what the fuck are you guys doing here? And then they reveal that his grandma let them stay here and treated them like family by like working and doing whatever they want. I'm doing a terrible job of storytelling. I'm also like fucking tuck it out because I've been talking for like almost 2 hours. I gotta keep this short. Okay, so anyways, he wants to like turn the cafe into a parking lot so he can make more money instead of like keeping the cafe, and they try to convince him otherwise by seducing him or like some other shit. It's pretty goated. Like one of the girls like gets drunk and like starts stripping in front of him. That's some good shit right there. That's what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? And then the next day when the contractors arrive to like assess the building, what do you call it, when like one of the signs breaks off, and they're like, oh, we can trash this for you. He takes it back, and you know, even during then you could like tell that he holds some attachment to this place, because like there was like the scene where one of the girls was like having a chocolate cigarette thing, and then he was like, no smoking in the cafe, and you know, he's like, oh, you're really a shtick for rules, even though you're gonna like tear down this place. And then you even get the flashback of the grandma struggling with like money and like all that kind of stuff, and that was the reason why he left in the first place, was because he wanted to go to uni and start making a bunch of money so people wouldn't bother his grandma anymore. And his grandma passed away, so he's like, damn, kind of fucked up. So yeah, and then end of the episode is he's like, oh yeah, I'll run this cafe for a year while I'm in my like taking my year off at uni, because I think that's what he's doing. And then he's like, oh, I'm gonna make this a more successful business, you know, it's your guys' fault that this business isn't doing too well, blah blah blah. So I'm down. This guy's about to be the fucking G. I love harem anime, I love ecchi, I love these girls, they're so good. If I were to pick a girl so far, it would be Akane, the band girl. She's kind of goated, but I don't know. I have a friend who says Riho's best girl. Who knows? I'm ready to see what happens. I've only seen the first episode. Damn, I feel like this is gonna be like the quick anime whenever I talk about Cafe Terrace, because I don't want to be a fucking menace talking about it. I give it a 9 out of 10, by the way. I gave this anime higher than Vinland Saga. I'm a fucking degenerate. Be like that. Next anime, Birdie Wing. What's the full title? I forget what it's. Keep in mind, so yeah, this is season 2 of Birdie Wing, and I loved season 1. Like I liked it a lot. So you know, I'm expecting a lot from this season, and as expected, like it starts right off where season 1 ended, and I've forgotten a bunch of shit already, because like we're in the middle of the tournament arc, and I'm like, who the fuck are these characters again? Because obviously I remember Eve and Aoi, and like the caddies, but I don't remember any of these other girls. I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna keep it real. So hopefully I sort of remember them, but I also like forgot. So I remember, so like, yeah, man, I'm fucking stumbling over my words already, goddamn. The first season ended with like Eve challenging Aoi, like, oh, if we beat them by blah, I'll give you a kiss. And you're like, oh my god, these gay golfers, it's so fucking amazing. And then they don't beat them by, well, like, I forget what it is. It's like something like a tie, but then they win. I don't know. Man, I'm fucking stupid. Why didn't I just write this down? Like, legit in my notes, I was like, no kiss. Like, I remember she didn't get the kiss, but I forget. I didn't write down why. It'd be like that sometimes though. So anyways, we have that. We get some backstory where how Leo found Eve, and then he was like, oh, it's you. Oh, so you're the girl. But I think they showed that in season 1. I could be going crazy. But then they do another reveal where their coach right now, what do you call it, challenged Leo, which is Leo being like the who taught Eve golfing and is like the fucking coveted god golfer dude. And this is why it was one of the reasons why I love Birdie Wing. It's like it's for like maybe 2-3 seconds they show a scene of the coach and him versing, and it's like they're in the fucking middle of the ocean where there's whirlpools everywhere, and like the course is like these fucking giant like land pieces that like are coming out of the ocean, and like you have to like, it seems like you have to like to knock each thing to like each piece of land to get to like the hole, but then it's also there's a thunderstorm happening at the same time, so you're like what the fuck is this course? Like, one, how did they make it? Two, how did they get on it? How did they get to the next island? So many questions, but honestly they don't need answer because anime is amazing. I love it. But anyways, they win and they're now in the semis versus the girl that goes in the zone. I love that girl. That girl's hilarious. I love that ability. It's so sick. And then they do like some like after like versing for a little bit, she's like, you know, because their coach used to be her coach, but then the coach left, so she's feeling like some kind of way about it. And then she's like, oh, I have to use in the zone because that's the only way I could be good. I can't just use my natural ability, because like the coach wanted her to be like good at golf normally, so then in the zone like expands on that, but she wants to like fully master in the zone so she could fucking be a beast all the time. It's so crazy, like it's so ridiculous saying this shit out loud, right? But then she reveals the next level of in the zone deep, and it's like, you know, it's like it's just the next level. It's crazy. I love it. It's so good. But then after using in the zone deep, her next shot fails, and then so she's like fatiguing out, but then also Aoi is fatiguing out, like she like collapses, and then we have Eve use a new bullet, orange bullet, and then like it launches up and then hits the flag, and then when it hits the flag it goes down to the goal, and it's like, damn, that shit's crazy. And then they do the reveal where Eve finds out that, or at least deduces, I don't know if she finds out, I don't know what the fuck's going on. It's anime, but basically it's revealed that Eve's parents is quite possibly Aoi's parents, the god golfers, so they're sisters and they're gay for each other. This anime is fucking crazy. I love it. 10 out of 10. We'll watch it again. I recommend this to everyone. This shit's so fucking good. Oh my god. Oh my god, I love this anime. Anyways, next anime. Next anime is Yamada-kun level 999. That's not what it's called. Yamada-kun to level 199, level 999. No Koe Wasuru, my love story with Yamada-kun at level 999. Yeah, so Yamada-kun, I watched the 2 episodes of this, and I thought it was a really cute anime. It's fucking amazing. I love it. Anyways, so the story is basically this dude breaks up with a girl for some ego instead, because they connect way better, and she's like not as into it as he is. I don't know if that makes sense. Like she's a normie and he's a fucking gamer guy, so they just don't connect. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it'd be like that sometimes, right? If I'm talking about like, if we think about it realistically, this probably happens a lot. Not a lot, but like, it's not uncommon. I could see, like, it seems realistic. You know, like, oh, this gamer guy, he plays games all the time. He has no time for me in the real world. How about we have like real dates and like blah 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 blah. but then, you know, or maybe like she's just not good at games or is not interested, whatever. But like she, you know, I already like her already because like, you know, she was willing to go through doing like play games and shit for him. That's some good shit right there. I can't speak right now. Like I've been talking for too long to no one. I'm talking to myself. It's making me go crazy. But anyways, she's still playing the game that her ex got her into, Forest of Savior, FOS, and while it seems to be like some sort of MMO kind of game, right? And while taking up this farming spot to like vent her emotions and anger and whatever, Yamada, a member from her guild, shows up, and she starts venting to him like, yeah, I'm kind of like in a foul mood right now. I just broke up with my ex and I'm like, you know, trying to take it out and blah 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 blah. And he just like, oh, so can you leave this farming spot then? Can I use it instead? And then she gets annoyed at him and then continues trying to like bother him to like, you know, be a pity person, which I respect. I love that kind of shit. I'm doing a terrible job of explaining this anime as usual, but we'll get through that. Anyways, she finds out that there's going to be an IRL event for Forest of Savior where she's pretty sure that her ex is going to show up. So she thinks to herself like, oh, I'm going to show off to him. I'm going to show my glow up. I'm going to get some new clothes, get beautified, you know, go to a beautician, fucking look sick as fuck, and like make him regret that he ever broke up with me. And then, you know, that already shows like what her headspace is at right now. And then at the event, she ends up actually meeting Yamada, the dude that she was bothering in the game, and he turns out to be a pro gamer that her ex likes. And then she tries to like fake that she's a boyfriend and girlfriend, but obviously I don't think, like, the whole thing is that the ex doesn't care that much because he's over it, but then she's not over it, so she's acting out bitterly. Then they go out drinking, and then Yamada seems like he's can't be fucked, but she's like, no, you have to stay here and like listen to me ramble for the night and drink and whatever. And you think that, like, you know, I mean, he is pretty antisocial and whatever, but when she goes to the bathroom, comes back, he's gone. But then he comes back and is like, oh, I just went to go buy some band-aids because I saw you bleeding, let me like put this on you. And you're like, oh my god, like how cool is he? That's some W Riz right there. That's some goated shit. Love him. I love him already. Yamada-kun, that's my kind of guy. Wait, what? I'm not gay. Anyways, episode ends with her being hung over at his place, or waking up hungover, and yeah, you're like wondering like, shit, what happened? Episode 2, she just got like really drunk at the place, so he brought her to his place and, you know, washed her clothes and yeah, gave her a place to stay for the night. And then she apologizes and leaves. But then she notices that her necklace is missing, and it's probably at Yamada-kun's place. So when they're in the game together, she like asks him like, oh, have you seen my necklace? Is it at your place? And he's like, no, I don't know what that is. And then during that meeting as well, because they're in the same guild, she's like taking too much space for the guild chests, equipment, item space, whatever you call it. And then he's like, you know, shit talking whoever's doing that, and she's like, oh, that was me, I was just trying to be nice or whatever. And he's like, you gotta be more selective with your items and blah blah. So he straight up roasts her, and then she leaves. And then you have the guild master kind of what are you doing? I say, what are you doing, like to myself. What was that guild master doing? She was like mediating the two. Because, like, you know, at first she was like, oh, you broke up with your girlfriend, let me listen to the whole story or whatever, blah blah blah. And then like, you know, knows she's in like not the best mood, but then Yamada came in here and was like, man, fuck your shit, man. And then she, you know, she's trying to like, you know, play mediator. It's pretty cool. It's pretty good because that's probably what guild masters do in MMOs. I don't know, I don't really play MMOs, but it's pretty cool. And then Yamada steps on something and finds out that, oh shit, that is her necklace. And then it's like, damn, he broke it. But then it's also her ex's necklace. Oh, it's a necklace that was gifted to her by her ex. So it holds sentimental value to her, but she should learn to let it go. Which, when they meet up at the station, not planned of course, they just by chance, because he's being confessed to by some girls, and then she notices and is like, oh shit, hey, what's up? And then he uses that opportunity to give her the necklace back. And he also gives her an umbrella because it's raining. Pretty good shit. I love umbrellas. What am I saying, bro? I need help. But yeah, that happens. And then the next day, she gets a bunch of mail from her mum for like her useless items. She gets a bunch of packages from her mum. So then she's like, hey friend, can you help me clean up? So then the friend cleans up, but then she has to like choose some items to like give away because she can't keep hoarding all this shit. So then she chooses to keep her grandma's plushie or bear plush, something like that, and throws away the necklace, which is, no, it's symbolic. It means a lot. It's cohesive because, you know, early in the episode, like you had like the guild items that she kept hoarding, and she has to let them go. She has to be more selective, just like what she did here. So, and then the show makes you think that she threw away both the necklace and the umbrella, but really, after they got drunk, the two go to Yamada's place to return the umbrella, even though he said you don't need to return the umbrella. And it's like, you know, it's a cool moment. I love that shit. And then, you know, he goes on to be like, you know, our guild master is worried about you because you haven't logged in since that day. You know, you should come back on. And then she's like, okay, I'll log in as soon as I get home. You log in as well. Yeah, let's go play. And then like, I don't remember if it's the after credits, but like basically they show a moment of them playing together, and then he's asleep because it's fucking like probably like 10, 11, 12 at night or whatever. Good shit. Very cute anime. I already shipped them together. Fucking amazing. He's a high school boy and she's a college girl, but you know, I'm with it. I'm not gonna lie. Is it bad? Is it immoral? I mean, he's 18? Is he 18? I'll look it up. Real quick. I don't see his age. All I know is that he's in his final year of high school. So he's 17 or maybe 18, and you know, I'm shipping him with this college girl. Does that make me problematic? Because I in reality, I probably wouldn't. I'm not down with, like, you know, like, oh, there's that culture of like people being like, oh, high school graduates, you know, they're legal now. Let's try and hit them up, whatever. That shit's super creepy, right? But I don't know. The way that they're doing this anime makes it seem really cute. Maybe I should like be more firm on my morals, but you know, I can't stop myself. This shit's like hella cute, and also, it's one. Am I making excuses? Am I just the problematic person? I don't know. I'm giving this anime a 10 out of 10. it's not like I support, you know, trying to pursue an underaged man. Underage, I say man, underaged people. But hopefully he is of age, or at least becomes of age. And then, you know, they get together. Anyways, that was the end of that anime review. I guess, like, you know, I'll do this for the outro where, like, I try to rank the animes that we've done so far, like the 10, right? So number 1 we have Oshi no Ko. I think that's the best anime so far this season. It's fucking amazing. I love it. Amazingly animated. What they did in that first episode, actually fucking crazy. I'm looking forward to what they're gonna do. Number 2 anime would be Heavenly Delusion. I love the voice acting in the English dub. I'm looking forward to what happens. There's a lot of mystery. Well animated. The opening fucking is amazing. Yeah, another 10 out of 10 episode. 10 out of 10. I guess, yeah, episode from what I've seen so far, and I love it. Number 3, Gundam Witch. I mean, I fucking love the first season, and this second season is picking right off where the first season ended. Holy shit, my fucking brain is fried. Someone help me right now. I can't speak. Anyways, yeah, so I love season 1. So season 2 already on an interesting start. Let's see where it goes. Number 4, Birdie Wing. I love season 1. Gay girls playing golf. That's some good shit. But it turns out they're sisters. Am I promoting incest? I don't know. 5th anime, Yamada-kun to level 999. A very cute anime. Am I promoting pedophilia? I don't know. Number 6, Ancient Magus Bride. I think that's also promoting pedophilia because Elias is like, I think, hundreds of years old and Chise is like a high school student. Am I the problem? Number 7, Cafe Terrace, because I love Haramechi. And also, these girls do seem of age. I don't think any of them are high school. They look all college age, which is goated. So not pedophilia. That's some good shit right there. That's some good shit. Number 8, Vinland Saga. Oh, that's crazy. Putting Vinland Saga number 8? That's like one of the GOATs. But, like, granted, I'm not interested. I am interested in this story arc, but I'm not like, it's not peak Vinland Saga yet. So, yeah, that's why it's number 7 or number 8. Number 9, Konosuba. You know, slice of life comedy anime. It'd be like that sometimes, you know. But maybe it could, if it's really funny later on, maybe it goes up a little bit. I don't know. Number 10, Hell's Paradise. More like mid paradise. Pretty mid so far, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's not bad. I'll give it a shot. But so far, it's been overhyped for me. I apologize. But maybe it gets good later on. I don't know. Anyways, that's been the end of this weekly anime review. I apologize for fucking like stumbling over my words a million times and like, you know, sounding very stupid. But hopefully I get better later on. And if you're still watching, thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next week. See ya.